We start with politics now. A new Patriotic Party flag-bearer aspirant, Alan Tremanting, has told delegates of the party in the Ashanti region to elect an old and experienced person like him and not a newcomer. He says aside his great transformation plan for the country, it is his vision to reward party executives of all ranks. William Evans Inkum joined him on his tour of the region and has come through with the following report.
A mammoth reception for the former Trade and Industry Minister in his home region, which is the stronghold of the ruling NPP. A 6-day tour of the Ashanti region has just begun for him, weeks after his closest contender, the Vice President, left. In his hometown, Ejuso, the chief, Nana Afrani Okese IV, did not mince words. They know you win. I support you to win. Do not be afraid of anyone. Over 4,000 delegates welcomed him in both Konongo and Kumawu. A major boost for his campaign when the Deputy Railway Development Minister and MP for Asante Achim South says he had decided to join his campaign. I was working for Dr. Baomia's team, but they did not trust me because we are related. I have decided to join my brother. Blood is thicker than water. Alan Tremanting says the party needs an old and experienced person to lead. You need to vote for me because I am old and experienced in the party. I have your interest at heart. I appeal more to the swing regions, and that is what we need to break the 8. Alan will spend 6 days in the Ashanti region.
Now, resort to alternative means rather than force. That's the clarion call from security experts to ECOWAS amidst escalating tensions within the West African sub-region. This is after the deadline to reinstate ousted Mohamed Bazoum in Niger expired. ECOWAS is to meet on Thursday again with the military junta shutting their airspace in wait of a possible attack. Eric Mawinaibeta reports.
It's been tense in the last 72 hours with citizens in West Africa anxious about whether or not the sub-region could be plunged into chaos. The 7th coup in the last 3 years this time has not sat down well with the regional body ECOWAS, which threatened military intervention should the uranium-rich Niger not return to constitutional rule by Sunday, August 6th. A meeting by the chiefs of defense staff of member states of ECOWAS has agreed subsequently on a roadmap for the military intervention. But former executive director of the West African Network for Peace Building WANEP, Emmanuel Bombande, says ECOWAS has been deploying old tools to tackle the unprecedented security crisis in West Africa.
What you see happening that you are calling an infliction of a wound on itself is related to the lack of the political will for the type of reforms that would have updated these tools for deployment by ECOWAS. So we are using old tools to respond to unprecedented crises that we've never witnessed before.
The deadline has elapsed, with the junta failing to heed to any of the directives of ECOWAS. The coup leaders have shut Niger's airspace while deploying their military across the country's border in wait of a possible attack.
We have to get through contributing countries to contribute. Then the mandate, formations, lifting of contingencies. All these things will take not less than 6 months before we can intervene. So to say 1 week we are coming was unfortunate. Secondly, even if we did, the ramifications would have been worse.
The leadership of ECOWAS are expected to on Thursday convene an extraordinary session in the wake of the elapse of their timeline to consider their options, which strongly include a military intervention. For security consultant Festus Abuaji, a possible military intervention could have at least 4 possible outcomes. The first being a strong resilience from the military junta, with the ECOWAS mission facing catastrophic failure. The second, a quick success for ECOWAS, with the military junta removed quickly. A possible outcome, according to the security expert, is a standoff between both sides, resulting in the casualties and losses over an extended period of time, like currently being witnessed in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war. Lastly, an initial victory for ECOWAS until the military junta resurfaces with resilience, and both cases leading to massive losses. With all that though, the consensus continues to be one from experts. ECOWAS stays the gun and choose diplomacy.
While still on the subjects, the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agaga, says ECOWAS should be proactive in preventing democratically elected leaders who tamper with constitutions of their countries. The Member of Parliament for Busa North says good governance and constitutionalism is the only way for democracy to thrive in the sub-region.
We use Guinea as an example. You have a country which has a constitution. Now, the Constitution sets a term limit for presidents. And yet, when the president of that country decided to amend the Constitution to create room for him to contest for a third term, ECOWAS was quiet. In fact, the country was not even sanctioned. So that is why I think that ECOWAS itself must be proactive. Now, the people have no choice. In that country, the military have to intervene because what the president, the civilian president, attempted to do in a way amounted to a coup. So good governance, constitutionalism, respect for the rule of law is something that civilian authorities must not tamper with. When we tamper with some of these arrangements that we have had, you create room for military adventurers to take the law into their hands and create trouble for all of us.
On to one of our headline stories now. The police in Kumasi is on a manhunt for a young man alleged to have stabbed his friend to death. The deceased, Lambert Frimpong, is a 23-year-old second-year history and politics student at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
A disagreement between two friends would later cost one his life. Lambert was reportedly stabbed multiple times by the suspect, Victor, popularly known as Yolo. Occupant of this building said they heard the two friends exchanging words, but never expected it to end in this tragic manner. These visible bloodstains paint a picture of severity of the stabbing. Close sources revealed that the deceased was stabbed in the armpit and rib. The suspect is said to have left the scene immediately. Even though nothing can be done to bring back our brother, arresting and prosecuting the perpetrator will assuage our pain. We have suffered a big loss. Assembly member for Kronom Kwapra, Pius Echampo, said residents are assisting the police to arrest the suspect.
Once arrested, definitely we will hear more. The suspect do not live around Kwapra here. So definitely the police, once they are aware of his hideout, they will definitely go around and search for him.
Lambert was preparing to return to school to write his end of semester exams when the incident happened. His body has since been deposited at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital morgue for autopsy. The family of the deceased is trusting the police to arrest the perpetrator and allow the law to take its course. Residents have also shown their commitment to support the police fish out this suspect. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Bronco, Ashanti region.
On to some more stories. Child rights advocates are calling on the police to do more to protect children who have faced inhumane treatment in their communities. Now, they were reacting to a grave act of cruelty meted out to 2 children in the Oti region by some questionable adults who tied their victim to trees for claimed minor infractions. A report by Peter Kwao Adato.
A boy of about 10 years old was tied to a tree in the bushes on July 22, 2023 at Old Chantime, a fishing community in the Krachi West district of the Otin region. The victim, Emmanuel, claimed that the suspect, Kobe, aka Apache, tricked him into the woods that he was going to carry some stuff from the next community and then accused him of stealing his bread. The victim, who's not enrolled in school, is reportedly staying with a fisherman identified only as Kwabena. The Karachi police later rescued the victim and arrested the culprit.
I haven't looked at the footage. It's like that they were preparing the child for slaughter because no human being should be put into that situation. And so I don't think it is the best for this particular child to be given back to their parents. But in any case, whom is the child living with? Is he living with his real biological parents? If not, what did the child come to do there?
The second incident happened last week at Accra in the Jasikan district of the Otu regions. The 9-year-old boy was reportedly accused of plugging 2 oranges without the owner's consent. The suspect tied the victim to the orange tree and walked away. The boy's parents became concerned about his situation while they looked for him. The suspect has since gone missing and is being sought after by the police.
Then I think immediately all those stakeholders who are working towards the best interest of this child should hand over the child to the social welfare for the best place for the child also to enjoy his life.
Well, news coming in is that Fred Nyama, who is a parliamentary aspirant for the Ayawaso West Wuogon seat, has withdrawn from the parliamentary race. We'll bring you more details of this particular subject in the subsequent bulletins. But moving on to some more stories, a circuit court in Wa has remanded 35-year-old local master of ceremony accused of defiling 12 children into police custody to reappear on Monday, August 14. The accused, Rashid Ahmed, aka Anata, is facing 7 counts of defilement contrary to Section 1012 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29.
The accused person's plea was not taken. The prosecution claims that because the police investigation is still ongoing, Rashid Ahmed, also known as Anata, was brought up to ask for remand. Rashid Ahmed was detained on Friday, August 4, as a result of police inquiries into various defilement instances that were allegedly connected to him. In a viral video posted in May this year, 3 schoolgirls aged between 10 and 13 years accused the suspect, who is a popular wedding decorator and designer, of defilement after inviting them to his house in Wa. Some of the girls alleged that Rashid Ahmed lured them to his room with the promise of giving them money, biscuits, toffees and food. A formal complaint was made at the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service on behalf of the 3 defiled schoolgirls. Medical examination at the Wa Municipal Hospital showed positive signs of vaginal penetration.
Because there are still some few loose ends that we need to tie, police will continue with the investigation. But because of the interest generated, we intend to do a daily trial of this matter. We have already prayed to the court to let us do a daily trial of this matter beginning Monday. So we should have served him with all the necessary documents by Wednesday so that we can start the trial on Monday. And thankfully, if we get a daily trial, we might end this case in just 2 weeks.
Now, the 2023 Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE, enters the second day today with lots of expectations. A total number of 600,714 candidates comprising of 300,323 males and 300,391 females from 18,993 participating schools entered for the school examination. Now, the number of candidates that registered for this year's BECE is 8.8% higher than the 2022 entry figure of 552,276. Now, on the international front, Ukraine Security Service says a woman has been arrested over a Russian plot to kill President Volodymyr Zelensky. The service said she had tried to find out the itinerary ahead of his visit to the flood-hit city in June. Now, they alleged that ahead of the visit, she tried to gather intelligence to try to find out Zelensky's plans in the southern Mykolaiv region. Ukraine regularly accuses local residents who support Russia of passing information to help Moscow's military. Zelensky confirmed he had been informed about the arrest, saying that the head of the SBU had updated him about the fight against traitors.